Can you hear me? I can't hear you on here. I hear you like on the space. I guess that works.
It's probably because it was unmuted. It was muted
Oh.
while the thing was playing.
All right, cool.
Anyway, I think we're on. Like, fingers crossed, the technology gods do right by us. But we're building Web3 technology. We're not doing audio-visual, so we can't be blamed if anything goes wrong. But I'm here with Manny from Cardinal Labs. Thanks so much, because you guys are hectic at the moment. Crazy getting around, getting the word out there about what you're doing, but also really building everything to do with NFT utility. So I won't talk anymore because the man's here. Why don't you tell me about Cardinal and what you guys are up to?
Yeah, like I told you a little bit before, it's like we're doing everything, but in a nutshell, we are a protocol that enables conditional ownership on Solana. And we like powering the future of NFT utility through a few realms, but primarily rentals, staking, and ticketing, which we're extremely excited about. I know we'll talk soon, but those are our three main pillars, staking being the first one, where we've now done over 135,000 NFT staked, which is for us incredible. It's escrowless, truly non-custodial on-chain staking, which is fantastic. I think we're one of the first, if not one of two, that currently have this. As far as rentals, we've processed now over 25,000 rentals. We achieved that a few days ago, which for us was a big milestone. As far as I know, we're the only rental marketplace on Solana, which is pretty cool. And then ticketing, I think we're also the first to tackle NFT ticketing on Solana, where we have different partnerships, not just in the music industry, but we're doing a lot of events at Breakpoint now, which is the Lisbon event coming up. We've partnered with so many projects there for now, and that is, although it's in closed beta now, it will be for public use pretty soon. So yeah, we have our hands everywhere, like I mentioned.
I've just lost your audio, but I think the streams.
Is it me or?
I think it's on my side, dude. So just stand by.
Sure. I think I hear it perfectly fine on the space. Can you hear me there?
Great. But echo. Hold up. 1 second. Can you just oh no, still hold up. Might have to kill the Twitter Spaces, unfortunately. But I'll just put it on our phone. 1 second. How's that now?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you? Still getting there. See what I mean, man? You can plan for everything, but
I mean, it happens. I mean, that's tech for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I'll kill the stream on Spaces.
Sure.
Maybe if I just if I join from my phone, maybe we can have it running in the background. Anyway, I'll get this done as we're chatting. But because I wanted to know about what brought you to this. You've got such a experienced team that's behind Cardinal, but what is the thing that hooked you in, and why you decided to dedicate all your time to building Cardinal?
Yeah, interesting, because although we all come from different backgrounds and such, the core group, so we're 5 in total, and I was actually one of the later ones to join. I was the last one to join, but the first 3, the initial 3, went to school together. They all went to MIT, and they were, apart from being friends, obviously were in CS together, computer science. They had some commonalities, and that would be crypto. So when one went to Goldman, one went to Apple, they all just rekindled over like, hey, Solana's here, like we have an idea. You want to tackle this together and start our own thing instead of like working for others. In one of the hacker houses, they found our 4th member, Avi, who went to Berkeley, and then myself doing BD was this year. So, and it's just like, dude, now we have a fully fledged, well-rounded team that we feel we can tackle anything. And yeah, the commonality between all of us is we've all been since day one here in Solana, which, is all you need really. And we've made not just connections, partnerships, everything. And I don't know, when you're here from the beginning and you get a tie to a chain like this, and the different, companies and tech that you find in this world, like, it's just fascinating for us. We like pushing the envelope. I told you earlier, we like doing the hard stuff, which I think is common between all of us as well too. And yeah, that's a challenge for us. Can we get the real world to use our tech? If we can, we're doing something right, we feel.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bent that we're on. Between us at Decent Living, it's like, how do we make sure that we're not just focused in this echo chamber of crypto, Twitter, Discord, and we're actually looking at how we're building out blockchain, Web3 technology into a real world. And there's a number of projects that have experimented, but more on the periphery. And that something like Steppen or Solana Mobile. We'll see how that goes. But
I think companies like that are so fascinating, right? Because like they were able to, like, for Steppen, for example, like you were able to capture such a large amount of users in such a short period of time while staying within your Web3 roots, right? Like that's always been a goal for us. We feel ticketing can be that avenue, but you never know. The space moves so fast that it could be something else that we haven't thought of yet. And if it's using our protocols, we'd be happy. But how can we get that real world usage? I think Steppen did that fantastic, like really, really well.
Is that why you're doing everything?
Yeah, I mean, so we don't want to do everything. It's almost like there's partners that come to us with ideas. Is it possible using this? Can you guys? And we're like, well, I mean, yeah, it is. Just use this, and usually they wouldn't know how. So it's like, well, if we pay you enough, can you do it for us? And it's like, well, naturally now we're in ticketing, I guess, or naturally now we've created a rental marketplace, and like games want to rent out things. I guess we'll do this. Oh, there's treasuries, there's guilds that want to rent out assets in their native tokens. I guess we'll do that too. But it was never our intention. It's just like a byproduct of some of the stuff we can do. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool how it works.
Is it just because you've got such experienced team there who's keen to just jump in and build stuff that you feel that you've got the skills and the talent to take on all these different things? Like what's the draw?
Yeah, I mean, we can come off rather arrogant or cocky, if you will, if I were to say, yeah, our team is insane. But it almost feels like that, right? Where we can do pretty much anything we set our mind to. And like, I feel like we're one of the few teams. There's a pretty good teams, but I feel like we're also in that realm where, hey, if we want to do it, we can actually build this. So like, let's build something useful, right? Let's not go after the low hanging fruit that anyone can build. Like, let's do the stuff that is so hard, unimaginable. And because we can probably do it. Like, let's just try. Let's see what happens. And we're all on the same page when it comes to that. I think finding a team that's, has the same mindset. Like nothing that we say is crazy enough to one another. Whereas like if I say this to you, like probably like, okay, yeah, right, good luck. Well, to us it doesn't seem that crazy. So finding 4 others that think the same way, like that's pretty damn cool.
If you were to go like distill down the problem, like the classical startup pitching technique, what is the big problem that you're going after with Cardinal?
I think real world usage of blockchain and crypto technologies. It's really cool to say like, oh, NFT ticketing is the future, but it won't be the future of like my mom can't use this, right? Or any random person can't use this without me having to explain how to use it. Like they're so used to going to an event, scanning to get in and watch their event. Can we keep it that simple? but at the same time use blockchain or NFTs. Like if we can do that, consider this a success. And I think that's what pushes us. But that's also the biggest problem, right? We referenced Steppen; they did it very well. Obviously, they had some flaws, but the core idea, I thought they did it fantastically. Like it was very well executed. I wish we could also do that for bigger and better things. That's definitely the hardest part about all of this.
And enable them to do those things, right? Like it's kind of the picks
Sure.
and shovels approach. You're the ones that are building the infrastructure underneath the people that can go and do the more consumer facing plays, but using your technology, using your products.
Yeah, 100%. I think for us, we laugh, but it's not even about the money. Sometimes we just want to see people using our things. Like that to us is so fulfilling. And we could almost do it for free if we know thousands of people are using our technology to do X, Y, Z. That for us is the number one goal. And I think we're all aligned there. So yeah, you're totally right in that sense.
What's the journey been like so far? Like what's, you've said you've come on later in the team. Take me through how everything came together in the first place, and then from when you've joined, and then this last little bit of ramping up.
Yeah, it's funny you ask because being the last one to join, I kind of saw from an outsider's perspective everything they were doing. I didn't think they were lacking in anything, to be honest. They were already a base team that it was just like, well, oh damn, okay, cool. I'm also here too. Well, but I definitely do fill the void in the sense that I'm in meetings 24/7. Like it's almost crazy to say that I have 5, 6, 7 meetings every day, and I wish I was exaggerating. I'm actually not. So, yeah, a lot of people are reaching out. It's a lot of partnerships. It's a lot of real world connections that I have to make, and it's fun for me. But I also realize because of this, that's probably how a company grows, right? Like there's just no other way around it. That is the day to day. And I guess that's where they were lacking. Earlier we had done business before, so I was trying to start some sort of gaming guild that's just like a side project, and using some of the rental features that Cardinal provides was imperative for guilds, which we currently do offer. There's plenty of guilds on our rental platform now, but I was the very first to ask this, so we had some special connection there. I inadvertently helped them build something before I even got here. So that connection was there when they were trying to fill this position. I wasn't actively looking for a job or anything. I was okay doing stuff on my own, but I felt I couldn't pass it up. I knew how good the team was, and if there was an opportunity for me to help, I wasn't going to think about it twice. Like I was definitely joining. So yeah, I hit up the team, talked to Spencer, Jeremy, the founders, Giannis. I even got to meet. So all four of them are fantastic humans. They're equally as good friends as much as they are good devs and engineers, and it was a perfect fit. It was almost a no-brainer for me.
Are you all working remote, or are you co-located in the same place? Like what's the
Yeah, so currently we're all remote. We do have these little sprints that we meet up from time to time. The core does live with each other, I don't know, 3 to 4 months out of the year. We're pretty much digital nomads, if you will. Like we travel quite often. But we do have for next year, 2023, let's all go to New York, make that our home base, and we'll work out of there. So that's the plan, at least for now.
nice? Are we just on GameFi? We're all waiting for the second wave, right? And for it to
Sure.
actually kick off.
I mean, tell us where we've been waiting since we opened the rental marketplace. That's like the main catalyst we've been waiting for. So yeah.
Yeah. The problem is that everyone's in the background actually building the games,
Yeah.
Funnily
I
enough,
saw that Star Atlas came out with their playable demo like yesterday or something, which is fantastic. But how ambitious is that game? And like I can imagine, like obviously for our rental platform that'd be fantastic, but all these games are so ambitious sometimes that it's in 1 year that's almost impossible to build. Like there's no way.
with the teams that they have as well.
Yeah, insane.
I'm heading to a games conference next week here in Australia, and on behalf of a mate startup, and we're trying to open conversations about Web3, and I know there's a lot of interest from some international investors. Singapore, for one, is super bullish on GameFi and Web3 and looking, but the general kind of gaming community really skeptical, and so we're just trying to like, just tread softly and open conversations and showcase, the possibilities of what they can do. It's really at odds with, I guess, what their culture is or what they believe, their what they can do. So, have you come across, any of that in the traditional gaming world versus this little echo chamber that we've got here in Web3?
Yeah, you
Solana
definitely
and
hear.
Solana, let alone.
Yeah, let alone Solana. Yeah, you definitely hear that, right? Like, why NFTs? Like, or like the hardcore gamers are just so anti crypto, blockchain, NFTs that they don't even want to hear about games on chain. Like, they can't fathom a world where you have ownership of assets. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, who cares? Like, why would you want that? Well, like I could sit here and explain to you all the World of Warcraft examples, right, or the Fortnite skins examples. Like, we've all heard them before, but until someone does it well without having the casual or the gamer know that they're on chain or have ownership of assets, like that's when I think things will change. Like I I love games. I'm a gamer myself. Like I'm always on the computer, so naturally I love games. But I it's hard for me to trade, at least right now, a Web2 game for a Web3 game. Even though I love crypto and I love Web3, it's still hard to go from say like a Counter Strike or a Valorant to a first person shooter on chain that just made the game a year ago. It's very difficult. But do I think
It's
there
going to be
will
the
be a
supporting infrastructure, isn't it? It's going to be plugged
sure,
in. I think maybe it's because gamers were so burned by loot boxes, EA
right,
games, and they're skeptical of anything that is money related or continuous revenue related.
right,
Something that
right.
opens up developers for that, that opportunity.
Yeah, I think the play to earn model too is interesting. Like I can see it, but I don't know if I like it too much. Like this
Mm.
idea of you having to make it a job of some sort. Like the whole Axie Infinity thing, when guilds were buying hundreds and thousands of these things and then renting it out to scholars so they can play and I earn a percentage. And like really, it's meant to be a game. It's meant to be fun, not a job, right? And obviously tokenomics went down the drain. It's hard to even sustain a token over that period of time, over the length of a game's shelf life. Like I don't know. I feel like we're probably not there, nor do I think we could ever get there. Like, I think games should just be fun, and a token should be an afterthought, not the main part of a game. Like, I don't know. I have various different thoughts, but again, it's just my thoughts. I don't know.
Oh well, man, you're building the future of Web3, so you better get those thoughts together because people will be asking what you
Sure.
think. Tell me about Cardinal and specifically in the, I guess, the technology behind what you're doing and the kind of real innovation, because all of this stuff is in everyone's hands. They're all playing with it, but what are you doing that kind of sets the team apart and brings that that special thing to the services, the products you're offering?
Yeah. Yeah. So most of our products have, and I'll go into our main protocol, which is, I guess, the star of the show is the token manager, right? So just tackling conditional ownership in NFTs is, I guess, such a hard problem that I think we're the only ones on Solana for sure. But even on Ethereum, like I think there's one project now starting to tackle this, like wrapping an NFT in something, placing different plugins or some sort of parameters on top to be able to govern those NFTs even when they're out of your wallet, is something that really hasn't been seen by any chain so far, or at least we haven't. So to see this uh, in fruition with not just staking, but rentals, like the ability to rent something out and it automatically returns to your wallet without you having to press a button, automatically be relisted again at your price that you set for whatever duration. Like that is a breakthrough. And currently, in its natural form, NFTs cannot do that. Right? That's very difficult. So to be able to have this, what we consider should be a standard, but it isn't yet. A wrapper on a token that lets you achieve these various different things, like that's fascinating and something not many people have. So when we introduce a rental marketplace, it's hard to replicate because that doesn't exist, right? When we have non-custodial staking, truly escrowless on-chain staking, yeah, very hard to replicate because no one has this wrapper either. Even ticketing, even something like enforcing royalties, which was a huge topic for a long time in this industry, we can actually do that. Nobody else can, but we can, because of this same protocol. So there's many various things we can do. NFT, like whitelist allocations, vesting, lockups, again, really tough to do. We can do it with our token wrapper. So we're now going to every launchpad, integrating with, you know, the Magic Edens of the world, the hyperspaces, the whoever, Bifrost, because we can do that. So yeah, we're slowly changing the way NFTs, you know, the way you engage with NFTs, but it's only us, right? It's only a group of 5 that's tackling this. So yeah, little by little, I guess.
This is going to force a new meta in NFT utility. Hopefully, you know, when you can make it easier just to solve this part of it, people can innovate on top and come up with new use cases, new ways to serve a community with a token. And let's see, you know, kind of IRL brands see it as an opportunity and jump in. Brands, companies, you know, how have you? Are you building those relationships? Like, are you looking at there? Or are you looking like specifically within Web3 and then Solana at the moment to get things off the ground?
Web3 is easy, right? We like doing the hard stuff. I'll keep saying that only because we do want to go Web2. We do want to bring, you know, bigger companies into this industry. We want to incorporate the chain into our everyday lives. An example would be, we have an artist we teamed up with to do so he's starting a concert tour. It's a musician. He's starting a concert tour, and he wants his tickets to be NFTs on chain for a few reasons. One of them being he wants royalties to go back to him, not just Ticketmaster, StubHub, etc. We can enforce royalties, just like I told you. But he also wants to have a list of, you know, people who attended the event so that he could interact with after, send them discount codes, send them merch stuff, airdrop, you know, specific proof of attendance, you know, NFTs that prove that you were there, etc., etc. This is all possible, but only through an NFT ticketing platform, right? So yeah, we are reaching out to the Web2 companies of the world, to the musicians, comedians, artists. Let's help you out. Forget that we're on chain. Forget blockchain for a second. Like, if that's what you want, cool, we can make that happen for you. Don't worry that we're using crypto. Like, we'll make it easy for your users and your fans. Just trust us that this works. And yeah, we've made those connections so far. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want a deeper relationship with your customer, your audience, you know, your community, if you want something that you know, allows them to feel connected to you in a digital sense, but also a community sense, use these tools. It's kind of like the value prop, right?
100%. And for the longest time, there's some stuff that just cannot be done, or it is done. It's just very tedious, can't be automated, or there has to be a middleman, etc. Smart contracts are a beautiful thing, man. They can solve a lot of what I call unnecessary issues, unnecessary problems, like middlemen. Like, for what? We don't need them. If a contract can programmatically do it, and you could verify everything on chain, like, there's no reason to have someone in the middle just being an escrow of some sort. Like, why? Like, the contract can do that. Bye. You know, like, yeah, stuff like that I think is pretty cool.
That's been the promise for years, right? It's a very hard thing to build, and why, you know, we need kind of dedicated resources behind it. Is there like an era in technology that you feel this is kind of echoing or akin to? You know, you're a student of CS. You've done you've gone to school. Is there something that you've learned over the years that you look back and go, hey, we're actually in this same kind of era again? Like, what would you liken it to?
Yeah, I think the easy answer would be like, the internet, when the internet started, right? The 90s or the late 90s, with that internet boom, everyone buying domains for the first time. Like, we're buying ENS domains on ETH, we're buying Sol domains on Sol. Like, it's very easy to just say the internet, but for me, I think the introduction of maybe smartphones might be a better analogy, because internet's cool, but it was the truly start of something. Like, I don't think we're starting something from zero here, in the sense that we're not creating something revolutionary nobody has seen. We're just iterating off something that was already cool, but we could make better, just using or just making everything on chain. So for me, I think that's a better analogy. I think we're not reinventing the wheel with games. We're just making games a little bit better. We're not reinventing the world with ticketing. We're just making it a little bit better. We're not reinventing an escrow system or how you tokenize or buy real estate or whatever. We're just making it a little bit better. The smartphone didn't reinvent phones, but it did make it a lot better. It did make it easier to communicate with people, through text or through calls or through, some sort of signal, or having apps on your phone. Like, that was revolutionary. Like, I think that's the era that reminds me of this. We're just making our everyday lives a lot easier, much safer, with much more efficient. We could even make stuff more cost effective, just a little bit easier. I think the chain helps with that.
Yeah, there was I heard something the other day, looking back at the start of the internet. There was in '92, there was something like a 2500x increase in the amount of packets sent, and that explosion, of activity has kind of rarely ever been seen before. But I guess the number of transactions that are going across Solana alone,
Yeah.
is, exploding. Oh, we like
Yeah,
to say
yeah,
that, at least.
yeah, way more than that, I'd say. Funny how that
What's your
works.
what's your vision for, for Cardinal to begin with? What's coming up in like the immediate term? But then, what are you building for the years to come? And then, the wider movement, where do you see us in 5-10 years time?
Yeah, for sure. So for Cardinal, just going through our three main pillars. Obviously, we've talked extensively about ticketing and how bullish I am on ticketing, and what I think of it. But even going back to our first pillar, staking, like, we have something coming now with a pretty popular project, like the DeGods team and the Utes team. Like, we're really good friends with their guys, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to staking and how that's performed, which I think is fascinating the way they're doing it. I don't think we've seen that just yet, especially not on Solana. And we're behind that as well too. They are using our protocols, so I think shortly you'll see a new way, not just to stake, but to engage, to continue engaging with your NFTs, not just on chain in your wallet, but IRL as well. So for us, that's actually something pretty darn cool. I don't know how much, the DeGods or Frank has shared with the public, but I've shared a little bit with you here, so you kind of understand where that goes. But yeah, we're behind that. We actually just came from LA, meeting up with those guys and working with them for a little bit. So yeah, I think you're going to see some pretty cool features when it comes to staking that'll probably change the game. Actually, I'm pretty sure it'll change the game.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
What else? Like, I'm hungry now.
It's just a tease. There's so much. I mean, and obviously, if we were alone in making these things, yeah, I'll share everything. I can care less. But because we have partners, and they're extremely, secretive about this stuff, and like NDAs and all this stuff is a thing. Like, I actually hate that they're a thing, but yeah, we've signed papers too, just to make sure we keep our mouths shut. So it'd be foolish of me to come on here and just say
for
everything.
Moments like these. This is exactly for moments like these.
This is exactly why I signed those papers. Yeah, you're
right. But what about, like, let's go wider then. Let's talk in general, so you don't get into any trouble about dropping alpha that you shouldn't. But what is the, like, where do you see us moving together? What's the, like, where do you see the work that we're doing here in Web3 and Solana going out into the real world? And let's fast forward in a decade. How is this technology, how is this movement really affecting our day-to-day lives?
Yeah, I think, and I love that question, because the answer will never be short for this question, but I'm not going to make it long, right? I feel like we can live in a world where we're all connected no matter where you live, right? Like, global currencies all of a sudden, are they a thing? I think they can become a thing. Like, why does there have to be the dollar here and the yen there? That's totally unrelated. And why does our minimum wage differ from, Panama's minimum wage or Nigeria's minimum wage, when we could all be on one equal playing field? And with all of us, slowly becoming remote, and Starlink becoming a thing, and people having access to internet, even in the most remote places, like, you're going to see some sort of shift where not only can you work from all these remote places that you never thought were possible, you could also make the same money a person in America is making. That's on chain, or whether that's some sort of cryptocurrency in general. You can, interact with banks or intermediaries that are truly decentralized, that don't have their own best interest. Not one person can make a vote or a decision anymore. Like, I think we're going to live in a world that is so not just free, but equal. And I think that's the main point of all of this. Let's make everyone equal. Like, one person or one governing body should not be the ones making decisions in anything, whether that's finance or law or rules or anything you want to think of. There's not one person there. Like I wouldn't be surprised in, I don't know, say 20 to 30 years, there is one country, might not be big or anything, but one country that doesn't have a single president. It's going to be governed by a group of people, or could be governed by the people of the country. I think there's a possibility for that in the next 20 to 30 years.
It's just wild that we don't have that kind of technology in voting already. I mean, you can look at the technological challenge of doing it, or you can go the other end to the full skepticism and go, it's controlled by those in power, and that's both of those things are actually probably true. The wonder is that we've got the solution here, and we're kind of in this skunk works of Web3, where because of that rapid iteration that's going on with projects exploding up and then dying and then something else coming up, where it's this incredible kind of Galapagos Islands of technology, where this crazy evolution's happening at pace, and it's going to hopefully spread out to the wider world. But I love that idea that you're talking about around the global connectivity, because we think about it in an internet sense, and yes, we can text or message or Skype or whatever. That's kind of on the superficial level, but like true interconnectivity of economic systems, of social welfare, of breaking down any sort of firewalls between the transfer of ideas, of wealth, resources.
When you think about it, it's like the majority of the world is not even connected to the internet. Like, crazy for us to see because we're in civilized cities, right? But the majority of the world doesn't have access to internet. That's wild. When I just because I have like 77 tabs open in my Google Chrome doesn't mean everyone can do this, right? Like this is not a reality. We live in our own little internet bubble here where the majority of the world can't do this. Over time, more of that piece or more of that pie will get eaten up by the internet. They can access the internet. They will be able to work remotely. They will be able to earn a wage, and to a point where it's all equal. I feel, at least I think it could get there, and that's what I feel like the purpose of blockchain and verifying all of this. Yeah, I think it can happen. I think it can happen.
I love it, man.
I hope it's in our lifetime, right? But I truly think
really hanging on in our deathbeds.
Yeah.
This is the future that we were imagining.
Right.
What's in the what's like immediate next couple of days, next couple of weeks for Cardinal? What's coming up? Anything you want to chat about?
Yeah. So ticketing should be open to the public soon. It's still in early access or closed beta, so that should be opening soon. We do have this big reveal with DeGods and Utes, so we're getting ready for that. We have a big hand there too. So, and then we're implementing some cool new features on bigger launch pads. So, our hands are tied for the next week, 2 weeks. I'd say for the next month or so, and then even leading up to Breakpoint for the big Solana conference in Lisbon. We are all over the place in Lisbon, so we're getting ready for that as well too.
So how can people get involved? What's the other than using the tools, being a protocol themselves, how can every person on Solana on Web3 get involved in Cardinal?
Yeah, for sure. So first off, if you're a dev, I mean, we've made it as easy as can be. With everything being open source and audited, you can use it all for free. We don't charge for anything. And if you need help, our Discord's open for all the tickets in the world you want. We'll help you. If you're a casual user, if you're a user of Web3, if your project needs staking, we got staking for you. Again, absolutely free. If you want to rent out your assets, make some money on the side, which I recommend to everyone. I don't know why everyone's not doing this. Instead of just holding NFTs in your wallet, just put them up for rent. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Someone rents it and you gain money? Like, I don't know. To me, it's a no-brainer. And then if you're going to be in Lisbon, you're going to see us almost at every party. And I think for one, we do have a big experience for everyone. So you can interact not just with us, but the protocols in a fun live experience, which is going to be the first we've ever done. I think the first of its kind as well too. So that's going to be fun.
I'm gonna check some flights and get my ass to
Yeah, going to be awesome.
Hey, Manny, let's wrap it up there. But it's been
Sure.
awesome to chat. And thanks for taking time out of what's, you know, a hectic time for you and the
Sure.
team. We're like dedicated to try and look at how we can build our own lives within Web3 and, you know, this decentralized world, and like finding the tools that are going to support that is really interesting to us. So thanks for sharing Cardinal, and I just love connecting with builders like yourself. So best of luck, have fun in Lisbon, and yeah, can't wait to follow your progress in CTE in the Twitterverse.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Fantastic.
No worries.